an outpouring of condolences from around the NBA and the sports world in general. And, you know, VC, you had the opportunity to play for him for 3 seasons. So I know you can speak to the man that was Lenny Wilkens. What are some of your fondest memories?
Oh, man, there's so many. Coach Kerr talked about Lenny sharing his experiences as a black man, coming up in that time, trying to play basketball, doing the community, and being a family guy. And he dropped so many gems for me as a player, as the star player on the team. And he would pull me aside all the time and say, this is how we're going to handle things, and this is how you go about things. And, you know, he would share things like, Lenny told me, as a player, he always say, you guys are lucky as players because we didn't have trainers. He used to have to sit on the table and tape his own ankles and go play basketball and some cons. And I just feel like, man, that's crazy. I couldn't imagine. Yeah, exactly. I said, I couldn't imagine doing that. But more than anything, Lenny's approach was so smooth. You know, he wasn't a yeller until he had to. He was like always say, hey, guys, this is what we're going to do. So, you know, he actually call you guys. That's when he's upset. But his approach was just so smooth about it, and he could break the game down. And as a former player, it's easier to break the game down when you've played the game. You've been in the player's shoes before, and you understand what they're going through or what they're about to go through or what they've seen. Coach Wilkens also got us our first win in the playoffs in Raptors history. He also got us our first franchise playoff series win as a coach, and it was just amazing to be around him, to learn from him. Now, as a coach, we didn't get many days off.
It's a different time.
We didn't get many days off. His idea of getting days off, getting in the gym and getting some free throws and then get out of there. His thing was, I just want you to stay focused, stay locked in on what's important to us. Basketball. Life is important, but when we're in the gym, we're going to be in the gym, we're going to lock in. And I learned that, and it helped and shaped and molded me as a player because it's always, understand your job when you're at work and obviously go be the community man like he was when you leave. But we didn't get those days off. We complained, but at the same time, I was always prepared. I was always ready to play, which led us to that playoff victory and wins, which we'll never forget.
For me, it's I want the basketball world to know that we lost like one of our giants. You know, at the end of the day, you know, a lot of times we can go through these times and so many players and coaches come through our league that we forget about who was the shoulders of the giants that we're standing on. I mean, for me, Lenny, like what he stood for, his integrity, his honesty, his wisdom. Like, I know he got a bunch of wins as a coach and as a player, but for me, it was more about the wins than that. It was about the wisdom. It was about his education. It was about how he put his arm around his players and his friends and his family. So, you know, shout out, man, to Coach. Rest in peace to Coach. It's a tough time for the NBA and the NBA family right now, but it's, you know, we take our hats off to Coach.
Legend.
Yeah, and we can't describe as much, like you're saying, Melo, what he meant to the game. I can hear his legacy just echoing in your words. You could hear his legacy kind of echoing in what we heard from Steve Kerr. Doug Christie getting emotional, just having a conversation about him. And that's how hard right now the league is being hit. But he's a giant. The shoulders that we are standing on, that young men and women moving forward in this league will be standing on for generations to come. So Lenny Wilkens, an all-star player, a championship coach, and a 3-time inductee into the Basketball Hall of Fame. He's survived by his wife, Marilyn, his 3 children, and 7 grandchildren. Rest in power.